Oh, hi guys, not done a video for a while. This is a project I've had on the go for a little while. Unfortunately, my V8 V-Rack Karama is no longer. I've sold the boat because I'm getting nowhere with engine DIY. I sent my engine back, but I'm not really getting anywhere with them. They've had it over like 2 months now. They showed me a video of it running without the valve covers on and with the plug cap missing, but they haven't shown it from the front, the water pump that leaks, and all the pipes that leak water out of it and leak oil and all that. So I've asked them to send me a video of the engine, the V8 engine from the front, showing me what radiators they're using, showing me how they've stopped the water coming out of the pump. And here's some time ago I've asked this, and since then I've had nothing back from them. So your guess is as good as mine. If I'm going to get it back, if I'm going to get it back running, there's no chance of them sending me a refund. So I've decided to sell the boat because the engine is not listed, not advertised, for aeroplane, boat, car or anything like that. It'll never be any good for those, especially a boat where you're going around sort of flat out all the time. So I've got rid of that. I don't really want my engine back. I'll soon have a refund, but they're saying they're going to send the engine back. So I've got nothing from them for a while now. I'm in sort of no man's land. So anyway, forget about that. I don't want to get cheesed off anymore. This is, you must know, if you're into your RC and your bikes from, days of yore, which I always have been. I love my motorbikes, kind of my passion really. I love all RC, but these are like something sort of special. Now I've had my first one was probably in the late 80s, early 90s, and I never got to run it. I built it all up. I didn't have a lot of money, and it's very expensive. I bought it second hand, and I never got to run it. I actually sold it in the end to someone for quite a lot of money. What did I do? I went and bought another one. I think if you go back through my videos, you'll see one that I built, an absolutely immaculate one, because I had some body work with it as well and stuff like that. And I built that one, and I made the starter and all this kind of thing for it. And then, in the end, someone offered me a really good price for it, and I sold it. Right? Now, I can't help it, but once I rebuild these things, they're so sort of precious to me that I can't bring myself to run it. But now the older I'm getting, I've sort of turned 70 this year, and I thought, what am I sort of worrying about? Why don't I just run it? They're fantastic things. Why don't I just take it out and run it? I might better get some more body work and stuff like that. I mean, they got a sort of funny way with their crash bars, this is what they run. If you can see that goes on there like that, protect the flywheel. It's just a lovely thing. This sort of fairing and that came with it. I'm not going to touch it because it's so retro, It's just superb. So I'm going to see, I have a guy who it's got some body work, So I don't know, but I'm going to run it. The thing is, I think I told you before that I lost my place where I used to run. They've actually, you get fined. I went over there once and it was 6:30 and I didn't realise and I got fined. And when you read the actually car park board, which was never there before back in the day, it says you can't park there from like 6:30 till 6:30 in the morning. And your limited time is 3 hours. So I've been going back over there like on a Sunday afternoon, if it ever stops raining, that is. And I've been running some of my bikes around. It's lovely and quiet and not the best of services, but I run on my car shows, my Mars and stuff like that, all them bikes. And I really enjoy enjoying it on my own because no one else is sort of interested anymore. But I thought to myself, I bought this kind of maybe like 8 or 9 months ago, and I didn't get around doing anything to it. I sort of got halfway there and lost interest, and then got sort of into my boats and the V8 Fiasco and all that kind of thing. So I thought to myself, oh, if I got somewhere to run, I think I'll dig this out and see if I can, have a go at it. So I've been working on it. It's got I've got a Nova, not a Nova. I've got a Picco 21 in it. The problem is it's not a rear exhaust. Just take this off. Now the problem, if you haven't got a rear exhaust, it's not actually really a problem, but let's just move it out of the way. If you can see that, if you've got a rear exhaust like this Picco here, I mean this is like genuine sort of 80 or something. It's a little bit tight, compression's down a little bit, but I have got my eye on a Nova Rossi Blackhead, which is brand new in Australia, specially made for this bike. So I don't know, we'll have to sort of see how this one goes, but this is what you have. So it goes through this pipe here. These are all silicone. I managed to get these off another good friend of mine, Gary. And I've got these are the old wheels and tyres, but I bought some new wheels and tyres off him as well. So, and they're in a plastic bag, so they're really sticky rubber. So that's half the battle. And this was the engine that came with the DWA that I built sort of some years ago. And I knew it was a little bit tight, and I managed to find a rear exhaust, not a rear exhaust, a side exhaust. Because if you've got a side exhaust, the exhaust will come up through the frame, so you don't need all this sort of silicone pipe work all the way down here, because it comes straight out of there and straight out the back. It's a real clean sort of look. But I know a lot of guys like the rear exhaust because it's supposed to be more powerful, but when you think this is a 21 racing engine, you can imagine how fast they were. There are a few grainy videos on YouTube of these things running, but they've kind of just become very, very collectible. People are scared to run them. But like I say, I've got to that stage now where I think, why don't I just run it? I mean, I've got the option, it comes with the option disc brake. It's got the option oil shock, which is they all work on these one-way valves back in the day. So you've got a little valve in there, so it goes up easy and it comes down slow. It's not the greatest of ideas. Done away with the leaning forks, because these used to have leaning forks like all the old bikes did back in the day. And gone for the direct steering. Sometimes you used to have two rods, but I think we'll get away with one. Obviously I've got to fit a steering damper, but the tighter you have them, the bike's more responsive. And you run them slack, the bike just want to go straight all the time. But it's a very good thing to sort of learn on. You can adjust that so it's not so aggressive. And then when you get really good, you can tighten these springs up and get the thing to really turn well. Now, I've got it all together. Most of it's kind of, I've got more modern servos. The servos used to hook in here and they used to twist. Two of them working together, and they used to lean the forks from one way to the other because that's how they used to work. But they soon realised that as soon as they got any speed up, you just go to steer into a corner and it'll just go straight on because of centrifugal force to the wheels. And it would only turn if you was going slow. And this sort of reverse steering idea came up, and it kind of changed the world of RC model racing bikes. And they still use this system today. It's probably a little bit more refined, but they still use the system today. So it's a very good setup, and you can adjust it and do whatever you like with it. Now, most of my electrics at the moment were just put on here to see if I could get it to start, because I've been spending hours and hours making this starter up. Now, the brake is on here. Pretty strong, powerful brake, because you've got like a lever. Let's just turn this around. Oh, you can't see. Oh, where it is. So you've got this length here as a lever for the brake. See, it comes up from here. And then that's joined. You bend this little wire over, and then the cable goes through the frame, and it comes down here, and it operates this brake as well. If I just switch it on. Right, that's the steering. don't think the brake's working for some reason. That's typical. Never mind, it does work. It's probably, it's on the same, oh, it's come unpopped. It's all right, there's a ball joint in there and it's come unpopped. But if you can see, you pull that, and if you can watch them, see that brake go on? So that is what, that little cable there, what's front brake. And the front brake is really good as well. But obviously this cable, if you watch when I put the brake on, it should pull that in, but it's come unclipped from there, so it's no big deal. Opposite sort of steering, as they all have. But it's, you know, they're just a lovely thing. They're just all made out of like alloy and metal, strong sort of nylon. They're a really strong thing, and they work so well with when you want to restore them, because you can polish them. The alley is beautiful. It's like really tough alley like you had back in the day. The Italians, you know, knew how to make their bikes, and it's absolutely lovely thing. So I've had to put a remote glow in there because you can't get the starter in from there. Rear suspension is quite plush. Again, it's got like a one-way valve in it. And I'll just take this off. This is just my starter at the moment, because the body, there we go. Right, the battery, you're supposed to put, this is a rider. I mean, it's not, it's pretty basic, but I mean, they weren't worried about that. All they wanted to do was, it was a bike, you know. Well, if you can see, that was cut out there. And a tiny little battery pack in there from way back when. Look, it was all green, the terminals are all green and everything, but that's from years ago, and that sort of popped in there and you plugged in when you put him on the seat. So I don't know where I'm going to put the battery yet. I kind of would like to put the battery in the rider, but I mean, it's not bad at all. So if you want to make a starter box for this, now, a good friend of mine, he actually made the base for it. So made me this base here, and turned me up some stands, milled these parts out for me, and he sort of gave me a bundle of bits, and I sort of put it all together so you can put your bike on there. This is out of I had a starter box for a car. I've just got a hoop around it. This is a piano wire hoop. You have to heat it up, get it really red, and then bend it round. And you've only got to clamp it up fairly tight and it doesn't move. This was the pressure switch from the starter box. So I've got it that as you press the bike down, engages that, turns that on, and turns the starter wheel. There's also an off and on switch for it. So that turns the power on. Can you hear that? That's started working, and it works pretty good, you know. I've got the feet on it, rubber feet. Well, yeah, right, rubber feet. Got on and off switch there. I've had this. This is a metal hard drive battery. Is it? No, it's not. It's a Li-ion battery. This is a Li-ion battery that I've had for a long while. It fits in there quite nice. That's the sensor switch. There's the hoop. We've got the two. I'll thread the ends of the hoop and then do them up really tight. This is just me at the moment, just to power the radio. So, shall we stick it on there and see if it's going to start? Let's give it a go. I've not run a 21 engine for such a long time. Now I've got these two nuts here. They hook into the rear like that. And then I've got another one at the front which goes down into that slot there. So the bike is really nice and secure on there. So let's switch the radio on. Right, radio's on. Have I plugged in the radio yet? No, I haven't. I always put these around the wrong way, sometimes with disastrous results. Now, green light. Shall we? Well, that sounds alright, doesn't it? I've got to get the tick over sorted because it's stopping when I put the brake on. But no big deal really. I mean, that's only the second time I've started it today. I've been having trouble with the flywheel keep coming off because it's anti-clockwise. So you've got to do that clutch nut up as tight as you can. And even on a slow tick over, I've noticed that it's not disengaging. So the clutch is a standard one, the ones with the little wires in, not a very good kind of clutch. I might see if I can get, what it really needs is like a 3-shoe clutch, something like that. But it's, I've just lost my local model shop, which is such a pain. I miss it so much. Active scale models, it went to the wall, and it was not far from me. And it was such a great shop. But now I've got everything on, eBay or AliExpress or all those Banggood. It takes forever to get to me, especially this time of the year. And if you just want something silly, like I want a clutch. Now, nitro is a dying breed. No one seems to want to run nitro anymore. It's like, it's all brushless, electric and all that, which is great. I've got a lot of stuff that's brushless and all that. But, I like my RC side. To me, the engine is the heart of the model. It's a proper, real kind of bike, and, I think that's where I actually was brought up with IC, and I love my IC. That's not a cooking engine, that is a proper, although it's a little bit tired on the compression, that barks at you, when that gets leaned out, that's going to rip, I mean, I believe they're up to like 38,000 or something like that, and it's not doing a lot, is it? It's driving one wheel, so I've got to find quite a big space. And what I'm thinking of doing is, like, back in the day, they all run stuff, to protect all the radio and everything like that. But I saw one on eBay a few weeks ago, and it had, like, these, like normal bikes now, sort of higher up. So if you do go over, you're not going to hit this because it's going to be at the side, and you can get much more of a lean angle. I believe these are going to catch the ground all the time, and you're going to struggle with it. So I might, in fact, make, like, the usual bars like we have on some of the bikes now. I mean, on my little bikes, all the Kyosho's and that, I run direct steering and I don't run any crash bars. But on this, just to be on the safe side, I think I might put a set of nylon bars, make some collets and make a set of nylon bars, come out the top like a modern bike, and see how we go. Because I still think it'll protect these because, you haven't got any protection from the bodywork really for the bottom of the bike. It's just like, it's there and it's all open, but it's still, I mean, look at that is like it's just nice to look at, isn't it? I mean, my wife gets the amp because I bring it down and I put it in front of the telly. I don't watch the telly, I'm looking at this and thinking, what else can I do to it, So definitely got to get an air filter. I've got still got too much oil in the rear damper, which needs to be sorted. These tanks, I don't know, these tanks always leak. It was like, when they were racing, it was like a quick release thing, so you could pull that down, off, and then you could pull the tank down, and you could actually move that across, and then you could fill it up with your can like that, and then a pit man would like stick it back like that, stick this one back on, and away you went again. But because it only relies on a seal that is actually on the chassis itself, it tends to leak. I know a lot of guys back in the day, they put on, they made their own soldered tanks and stuff like that, and you could probably use a pump, to fill it up. I mean, it's quite a fiddly job to get that on there, to be honest with you, but I suppose if you get the knack, that's on. If you get a knack of it when you're racing, there's also a pipe on here, which has come off. That goes up to the pressure feed. I think that's in there now. Right, so you've got a pressure feed on the exhaust. That wasn't attached, so that wouldn't be helping much, but it's just a tick over. Can I get that down on there? Right. I mean, if you wanted to, you could probably fill it up from there, but then you might flood, the tank, or you could if you had a pump, you could probably fill it up from the where the carburettor pipe goes on. So, you know, that's kind of where I am with this. It was fun doing all the work. They're so nice they respond because they're rally and they're so tough, you know. And this one I'm definitely going to run, and I'm going to put my video on YouTube. I really enjoyed making the starter. It's so compact, the batteries, everything's in it, so you can just walk around with it and just stick it down, boom, hit the start button and off you go. I might have to try and I'm thinking of making a tighter clip or something that pulls up on there. I don't know yet, but getting bits for these is like rare as hen teeth, and you know, some people want to hang on to them. I've got, you know, people from the past that I've sold bikes to and they bought bits, and I'm getting a few little bits off of them. But to be honest, you know, I had the wheels and tyres, but where it had been standing, it had a flat spot on it. And I sort of sanded it down to try and get the flat spot out, and I'm never really happy with it. Then I got another one from a good friend of mine, Kay, and that one was quite good. And I put that one on to start with, but then Gary said to me he's got 2 brand new ones in packets, so I thought, well, I'll give that a go, because I think, you know, the tyres go off, don't they? I keep all my tyres in like plastic airtight bags. As you leave them out in the air, even my bike tyres and stuff like that, if you leave them out in the open air, they just go off and they sort of dry out, and then whatever you do, you can't really get the grip to, you know, to get back to them. Excuse me. Anyway, talking the tyres, now I'm sort of back into racing these bikes. Sorry about the mess on my worktop. I've got a garage, you think I'll keep it tidy, but it's just always in a mess. Now, we're talking about tyres here. Now, this is my little Mars bike, or it's a Hobby King kind of knockoff of it, and I've had it for years. And it, you know, to be honest, it's one of the best bikes you could buy. It's kind of virtually unbreakable, and it runs so well, and it's silent. It handles incredible, and I've discovered these tyres. Now these tyres, they're called CST tyres. And honestly, if you put the bike down and leave it overnight, when you pick it up in the morning, these tyres are actually stuck to the. I've got like wood block flooring, and it'll just stick to it. You know, they are incredible, and they don't seem to wear, and they have so much grip, absolutely so much grip. Now, I've got one on the front as well. The only problem with them, I don't know if you can see how wide the tyre is. So you kind of have to glue them on and let the outside of the tyre sort of... They've got a little ridge on them, so it's not too bad. But I've been sort of talking to some guys from... where is it? The Hong Kong Bike Club. And, you know, and you must have seen their videos if you're into your bikes. And they run Kyosho bikes, you know, heavily modified. And they run these tyres. Now, how on earth... I mean, this is quite a wide rim. But the Kyosho rim, they put these on, and they say, yeah, it is a bit of a struggle to get them on. So I'm waiting to get some new tyres to try on a Kyosho. I'll get them off of Moto Rad Shop, Gregor. But at the moment, he's out of stock. And I'm trying to find them somewhere else, and I can't find them. They're like, I don't know. I'm asking every night, the Hong Kong Boys Bike Club and a few others. But this is absolutely, you know, all right, the bodywork's a bit kind of, you know, it's all right. You know, and it takes a lot of bashing. Because you're always trying to get it flat out of corners and making it slide and all that. You know, and even with these tyres on, I think that's only like a 4 kV motor in there, 4,000 kV. And a wheel sprint coming out of the turns, and it's so progressive. It's absolutely lovely thing. And like you've got the little brakes on there that, you know, you can see them. Even they work so good. And you can, with the speed controller, you can just get them to come on because you don't want too much rear brake. It's all like on the front, really. But I just thought I'd mention that. I've got a little steering damper in there as well. So these tyres, if you run your bikes, get some of these CST tyres. And I'm hoping, Gregor will get some in soon, because I'm dying to try out some on a KO show, because I think it'd be wicked. I mean, the standard Mars tyres you get with these are quite good. But like I say, I've left them out for like a couple of years, maybe longer, on the shelf, on stands. And then when I went to run them again, I had no grip whatsoever. But these did. These just don't go off. And they're a beautiful shape and absolutely excellent tyres. So if you're into your bikes, I reckon this as a Mars, it's a good bike. It does everything. You can get all the parts for it. The car show never gets old with the leaning rider. I love them. And some of the videos you see with the Hong Kong Bike Club are just like incredible. They are just incredible. And I still love them. But if you sort of only want to buy one bike in your life, something like that, to try it, one of these is, I mean, when you buy them standard, sometimes they have a flywheel in the back, but you don't really need that. But like I say, absolutely great bike for the money. So, anyway, guys, so the bikes are back on the table. I've really lost heart with the V8. I've had terrible problems with it, and I've had it over a year, and it's never run. I asked for a refund, and they said send it back, and they'll see what I can do. But now it's gone down to, I haven't really got any contact with them. Are they going to keep my engine? Are they going to send it back? Are they going to talk to me? Who knows? I absolutely have no idea. So with that, I'm going to sign out, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.